All right, now let's check the goddamn computer, shall we?
What's happening? Look at all this work we did.
All these emails about titty milk.
Oh God.
It's not a small amount.
Indeed.
It's not a small amount. Okay. How you feeling right now? We put it off last time.
That's what happens when we put it off.
And this is what happens when we put it off.
Yeah.
I need to get myself some water.
Okay.
This has been a nice long 3.
Yep.
And then we got to read us some lore. Because it ain't going nowhere.
It's looking like my mailbox right now. With
yeah.
Ton of unread spam.
I don't even want to scroll down to see where the bottom goes.
We're gonna have to flip all around.
All right. We had a good fucking 2-chapter day today. We did a lot. We accomplished a lot today. We went back to the past. We killed it. We killed the past. And now we got to read some emails.
You skip between the past and now. Anyway,
it's a bit wild to literally teleport to World War II, get hit by a tank, shoot a couple of soldiers, drop back into modern day, and read an email from the junk dealer that says marriage sucks.
Oh, poor guy.
Like, it hasn't... I haven't even read the first mail that they sent me to talk about how happy they were. Right? To talk about how happy they were to get married. And now I'm reading an email that says marriage sucks. All right. Well, hold on. Let me get my water. And then let's start. Fucking... sign the marriage papers, sign the divorce papers. Grand opening, grand closing.
Like you sign the marriage papers and they give you the divorce paper. Take this to go home whenever you need it. Comes with a package. Keep it with your important papers.
Okay, so we should read this in chronological, which means starting at the bottom. And now we're here. That tank being from World War I is kind of fucking terrifying when you think about how, like, every time you hear about how mismatched, like, the different aspects of World War I were, where it's like you had that type of tank not fighting against, but you had that type of tank at the same time as certain people being on horseback.
Yeah, and bayonets and stuff.
Right? I heard that people were riding on horses at the same, you know what I mean, back then. And it's like, as someone who's gotten many facts about talking about wars wrong, I don't even feel like I almost don't want to talk about it because I'm just bound to get everything wrong. Yeah. But like I've been told that people rode horses and had really old weapons at the same time as people driving tanks like that, and that's fucking crazy.
Oh man,
that's so insane.
Learn the meta. Holy shit.
Learn the meta? What meta? Battlefield 1?
Don't show up with a horse when you see something in metal coming towards you. Like, just, okay, let's update our tech.
Yeah.
Let's get back into it. Yeah. Anyway.
Providing what I heard was real. Yeah. That sounds super scary. You also are like, you know how old wars would be like you march in formation and then you like ready, aim, fire?
In lines.
Right? So we're like, when did that go away?
No idea, actually.
Because... that's the dumbest way to fight in the world.
It was humble.
But it wasn't humble. It was honorable.
Yes, honorable. That's what I was looking for, yeah.
It was a noble way to bring your chess pieces to the field and have them fire at each other and see what happens. But it was also like a fucking suicide walk, right? But yeah. I'm legit curious to know, like, at what point did people realize, let's not just stand in front of these bullets? Anyway. Let's go.
You want to take this one?
Nick Easton. Hey, Sam. You heard the latest rumors about out of Capital Knot City? People have been seeing some kind of weird glowing thing up on the rooftops near the isolation ward. Oh, by the way, for this episode, we're now entering the mail and interview episode.
Yep, so this is a 0.5
This is a 0.5. This is a 0.5. People have been seeing some weird glowing thing up on the rooftops near the isolation ward. Seems it's a Ka, part of a human that doesn't turn into a BT. That's what people are saying anyway. Apparently they were a common sight back in the old days, before the Stranding. I mean, the story goes that they were lost souls wandering around. One of our pals tried to take a closer look, see what's what, but he couldn't find anything. I'm sure you could do better if you put your mind to it, though, right?
Weird. This goes back to the Egyptian thing when they were saying the ha and the ka,
the
body and the soul.
But like the rooftops near the isolation ward. Where's that?
I'm not sure where's the isolation ward.
Capital, not city?
Do you think that's worth investigating?
You could teleport back there and see what's going on.
Yeah, eventually. I'm going to have to make a note of that. Yeah. Fair. What's next? Benny Hancock.
Should we write? Yeah, can you make a note of that?
Yeah, far apart, but always connected. Dear Sam, thanks again for all your help. The Carol printer is still running like a dream, and it feels like one too, seeing all these new buildings popping up out here. It hasn't solved all of our problems. Of course, the nearby wastelands still crawling with BTs, but now we can obtain a good chunk of our supplies via the network, and they can't interfere with that. To think we're connected, even all the way out here. Didn't used to think it was such a special thing. The whole world was one big network back before the Death Stranding. Video, audio, text, every bit of information was available for one and all. But now we've gone one better. The Cattle Network and the printer can be used to send tangible things. Well, in a way. Welcome to the new America. Once we're able to send food and medicine too, you won't have to put your neck on the line for our sake anymore. I hope that day comes soon. I really do.
No offense, Ben, but I don't care about your city anymore. I'm across the ocean. I'm currently dealing with Lake Knot, and Capital Knot can kind of fuck off. It's a little bit not in my, it's not in my periffs.
Yeah.
That was a long ass time ago. Here we go. New friends. Elder. That's what I'm talking about. Rebuild the roads. Rebuild America. I see them delivery bots are on the prowl again. Guess that means the roads are getting better out there. Used to be highways and byways running all over back in the day. There was one, the Mother Road, some called it.
Okay.
That's the most Koji thing I've heard.
Wow.
In a while. The Mother Road. It's almost like a mother load. Except...
That is pretty good.
Except the Junker's wife is
Oh my god.
That was one the folks used to follow all the way west, chasing their dreams. Rebuild the roads and you rebuild the dream. Is that it? That old American classic? The belief that success and prosperity
so dumb.
within everyone's reach? Well, that may not be much for your UCA and your plan to rebuild the country. But if you can finally make that one work, I'll raise a glass to you, that's for sure. The Mother Road.
Weather station upgrade. You know, I'm not even technically part of the core staff. I'm medical. I was posted here to keep an eye on our skeleton crew, make sure their heads stayed right, and somewhere along the line, got roped into processing deliveries too. Anyway, before we became part of the cattle network, this place was a weather station in name alone. We were collecting meteorological data, but only over a pathetically small area, and we weren't able to share it with anyone. Prior to the Stranding, they had countless weather satellites circling the whole planet, watching every move the clouds made, measuring every twist and turn of the wind. With that much data, it was easy to create forecasts. But things are different for us. We don't have a top-down view of the whole picture. But the Cupid and the network have provided us with the next best thing. Now that we can collate data from all over, we can generate more comprehensive models, which give us a much better chance of accurately tracking fluctuations in chiral density. And not only that, we can send weather reports to every city, prepper shelter, and bridges facility on the network. Now we really are doing something useful. We owe you big time, Sam. Thumbs up.
I wonder if we're actually going to make the problem go away. I wonder if this game is about learning to live with the new world situation more than it is about making the situation go away, you know?
Accepting it?
I don't know. Right? I don't know how it's going to go. It's hard to say. It's still too early. But, like, you know, it might be one of those things where mama's got to say goodbye to her baby.
Yeah.
Right? That might come up.
Which ward was it near Capital City with the weird glowing
Isolation
object?
ward.
Isolation ward, yeah.
You did it, Sam. You beat the mules. It's really quiet around the distro center these days. I guess you must have put those mules in their place. How the hell did you manage that? How the hell did you manage to walk across the entire continent and never have to kill anyone? I mean, that was one thing you couldn't do, right? Kill someone. And that's another crater to deal with. Oof. Anyway, I don't know how you did it, but I'm grateful. Our bots are way more useful than they used to be. It's all down to you. Yeah. So now that we have real guns, if we murder a mule, do we just nuke the site? Or is there some sort of, is there a gameplay ramification to shooting and killing a mule?
That's what I'm wondering.
And then if you don't dispose of their body, then you've got a full-on fucking void out.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Right?
So we should try to avoid that?
Here's the thing, right? The fact that the beginning of the game made us go and drop a body into an
incinerator?
An incinerator means that they built an incinerator.
Yeah. And
it means that there's a body carrying mechanic. So I bet you the game is going to make you do that.
Oh god.
Like, the first thing we saw was they made it.
Yeah.
They made an ability to carry bodies and burn them. I bet you if you kill anybody, that's what's got to happen.
Oh boy, you better use these strands if you don't want to have to carry dead bodies all over.
Again, I ran into people with my van, and a blood thing popped up, but I guess they didn't die.
They're probably just knocked out, I guess.
But guns are guns, dude.
They're guns. They work.
And you never waste money building a game mechanic unless you're going to use it. Right? That's game design.
The Ludens fan. Order. Delivery to Port Knot City. Sorry, Sam, I know you're a busy man, but I need you to deliver something to a guy named Victor in Port Knot City. Please? It's only right that he has it, not me. And it's unique, too, so cowl printing's not an option. If you could do the honors, I'd be super grateful.
God, is it? But watch, it's a fucking toy.
As long as it's not a nuke.
It's a fucking Connecticut.
Holy shit.
Porter's getting it done. Hey, Sam, did you hear? One of the porters I hooked up with hematic grenades took down a BT the other day. Thumbs up.
Nice.
There was a sharp drop in chiralium density that coincided with this report, so there's no denying that he got the son of a bitch. And it's all thanks to you and the UCA. Yeah. It's an exchange joining up. We sacrifice a little privacy, share a little expertise, and you agree to look out for us. Not a huge price to pay, but it's enough to help the cause. A tax, if we're being honest. We pay, we get protection. Contracts alone won't cut it. We're just free riders that way. You're not giving up enough, not getting enough. And if you dodge your taxes, you can't be surprised when there's nobody around to look out for you. Quid pro quo and all that. The info and tech I've received from Bridges just might be enough for me to start producing hematic grenades in bulk.
Oh.
If so, then who knows? Maybe we can wipe out the current crop of BTs. Of course, there's a catch. Only your blood seems to work. Don't misunderstand. I'm not going to ask you to bleed yourself dry. To be honest, I'm surprised we got as much from you as we did. It's like you're donating every pint every time. It's like you're donating a pint every time you take a break. Well, it can't be easy, but we sure are grateful, and don't you forget it. Yeah.
So we're like constantly getting sucked dry of our blood. Still a pint. We got 6 liters, something.
Something like that.
Yeah.
3 you can give.
Jesus. That's a lot of blood.
What's the, what was I going to say? Yeah. It's interesting because it's like, again, is this one of those moments where this is the craftsman talking to us? Or is this Hideo talking through the craftsman about the idea of giving up a little privacy in exchange for a little bit of security, and the idea of the group collective? That's all your taxes are at the end. And depending on who you ask, some parts of America are not for it. The craftsman himself was not for it because he was a prepper that was like, fuck out of here. I'm doing my own shit. I don't trust you. You blew up the city. So it's but a couple of fine deliveries and he's on board.
I was like, okay, yeah, maybe that's I can chill a bit with you guys. It's a bit positive for me.
Damn.
Take my information.
It's almost like taxation is not theft. But what if it is?
Oh, God.
But what if it is?
Yes, I'm sure the craftsman is giving like half of his revenues to the government.
Well, depends on your bracket.
Yep.
In the post-apocalypse.
Who's the 1%? In ashes.
I mean, when money is worthless, right? What's your bracket?
Can't wait. The Elder. Y'all could learn from Fragile Express. I remember the Stranding like it was yesterday. Craters all over, inner city comms cutting out, distribution networks shot to hell. Wasn't no local boys to help a fellow out no more, let alone feds. Nope, it was every man for himself. Every man who didn't work for no private courier outfit, that is. Them ones took it upon themselves to keep on delivering the goods folks needed to survive, in spite of the cost, and without hope or expectation of reward. What good's money that ain't worth the paper it's printed on after all? Nope, them private operators had to get by on a thank you here and there, and fuck all else.
Pardon my French.
But supplies kept on coming. Sure, a few went mule on us, but that didn't seem to faze the rest none. The country fell apart, then the cities, till all that was left holding the world together was them. And they knew it too, knew we'd all be screwed without them. But they didn't hold it over us, they just kept things moving best they could. For us independents out here, and the huddled masses in the cities, Fragile Express and all of them others, we owe them a hell of a lot. Bridges, though, y'all still got a lot to prove.
All right.
So there's mistrust there.
Okay, of all the things going on in this story, I'm having the hardest time accepting mules.
Yeah?
Mules is the one that I can't, I don't understand the part, if you were to just say they're wildland scavengers, right? They're people that are fuck it, free for all. Remember,
like some Mad Max bullshit.
Any Mad Max bullshit. Any zombie movie, any Dead Rising game where you've got the psychos that just kind of they just take over and take the power grab as humanity falls.
Yeah.
If it was just people that were we're here to steal your shit and fuck you up, right? I would totally understand that. It's just a base raw instinct. I want resources. It's me mines, right? I'm looking out for me mines. But it's not that, right? It's not like The Road where things are just desolate and awful. Yeah. It's people that want to steal your shit to deliver it, which is so...
why?
That's such a weird... So I'm having a hard time following through on the logic, on the mindset of a person.
It's about the boost of getting them likes.
The likes in, yeah.
It feels so good.
I feel like that's a step of obfuscation or complexity that Koji went through, where it could have been so much simpler to just be they want to steal your packages because there's good shit in them. They want resources because survival. End of story.
Well, maybe he's just saying it's just people who are trying to steal your attention on social media and stuff.
If that's the analogy, right? If you're trying to create the analogy and it needs to be emblematic of what happens in real life, then I understand that your metaphor has to carry a similar weight. Yeah.
But it's illogical when you think about it. You're why are they doing that? But why are we looking for approbation and likes and everything?
I mean, if anything, you'd almost think so here's what I'm wondering, right? Because mules have a bunch of stolen shit. Are mules delivering packages to the people that request them?
Yo, I got your package!
Yo! Are the preppers that we see and we're friends with accepting deliveries from mules all day? Because a mule shows up hey, buddy, got a package you ordered. And you're yeah, thanks. Here's your likes.
Do I need to sign something?
That's you know what I mean? That's the weird part.
Close the door.
The person who's getting their package stolen, it sucks. But if you're getting your package delivered, you can't be that mad about it at the end of the day.
You're thank you.
Well,
I thought it was lost.
Right? If
I killed someone to deliver it to you.
If fucking FedEx jacked up a UPS truck that was delivering my t-shirts, right? Just T-bones it, bam! Runs up in the back, stomps the driver out, right? Raids the truck, fills up their own, and brings it right to my front door. What the fuck do I have to complain about, Reggie?
I was just chilling at home. I don't know what happened out there. But thanks a lot, buddy.
Like, T-bones it. Makes it fucking roll, you know?
Gives you the boxes, like, oh, there's a bit of blood on this one. Just let me wipe it up. Here you go.
They bubble wrapped it. We're good.
No problem.
Amazon puts the bubble wrap inside.
There you go.
No more mule trouble. Thanks, Sam. The mules in the north have been awful quiet as of late. Got to a point where I was wondering what was going on, and then I realized you must have been your doing. I mean, wow. Just wow. You're amazing, Sam. Anyway, you'll be pleased to hear that as a result of your heroics, we're growing wheat again. So you know what that means. Beer and bread and pizza. Thanks for all the help, Sam. So yeah, we got these emails when we fucked up the mules like a while ago. Like I said, proof that I fucked them up.
There you go. But everybody knows.
But this guy on the Timefall farm must have gotten deliveries from mules constantly. This is the weirdest part. I'm having such a hard time like wrapping my head around the concept of the mule, you know? I'd love to see a character in this game like walk us through it. I used to be a mule, now I'm reformed, here's what happened. Yeah. Or even the slow descent, you know what I mean? I don't know. I need elaboration on it.
When you were reading that one, I straight up heard we started growing weed again because I was behind. I was like, what? It's wheat. Okay, now weed. We're not growing weed.
Canada, bro.
Here it's fine. No problem. I think.
Certain states.
Certain provinces. Yeah, and certain states. Anyway, the best damn brew you'll ever drink. Dear Sam, another long day on the road, I'll wager. Well, you know what suits mind, body and soul after a hard day's work? A delicious draught of Timefall Porter. We finally got it to brewing up a batch of beer. You familiar with porter? It's an English ale that's been made since the 1700s. It was popular with the couriers who used to deliver loads up and down the Thames. The Thames, right?
Thames.
Thames, thank you. I knew didn't have the right pronunciation. I'm French, forgive me. Hence the name. And the other part, well, I don't think I have to explain that. It's crafted with the finest, fastest growing wheat under the Timefall. So Mr. Legendary Porter, why not put your feet up and enjoy a tall glass of your namesake? And don't think this is the end of it. We'll be baking bread and cooking pizzas before you know it. Just you wait. Well, got a beer.
Yeah, but it turns your insides into aged crap. No, it doesn't.
Delicious.
If they found a way to keep the aging properties as you drinked it, so that everything inside your body just aged as it went through, could you imagine? But it tastes real good, though.
Terrible. Oh my God.
Wait, that means that Fragile's skin is all old.
Yeah.
But is the insides old? Or is it just the skin?
I think it's just the skin, but I was worried when.
No, I think her body is fragile. I think that's part of the name convention. I think her body is old too.
When Mama was caught under the rubble, I was afraid for a second that like her inside was gonna be affected by the water, but it was not Timefall.
It wasn't Timefall. She was drinking water that was leaking off of the rubble.
Okay, so it was too slow. It was already.
I think it was dripping into her mouth. Yeah. If she was drinking Timefall,
then it would be like
her face is she's fucked.
Yeah,
right. That couldn't have been it.
It was very slow water. Mm-hmm. It was not Timefall anymore.
But then it's all like concrete water. So
get minerals. Oh.
Kick back with some Timefall Porter. Thanks as always. Sent you some Timefall Porter, the world's fastest brewed beer for Bridges' fastest runner. Hope it provides a welcome respite on a hard day. Should be waiting for you in your room. Enjoy.
I'd be like, thank you very much. It's basically just trying to get the superstar to drink their brew and be like, guess what Sam Porter Bridges drinks? It's Timefall Porter.
Man, the next time I go to like PAX or any of these like events with a Koji booth set up, I really hope they have Timefall Porter as like a collectible beer. That'd be really fun.
That'd be nice, yeah. The environmental scientists. Weed's great and all, but... Dear Sam, thanks for stopping by again. I'm sure it was plain enough to see, but this farming experiment of ours has been a runaway success. I tell you what, if Amelie never took an interest in our research, and you'd never put us in touch with the weather station folks, none of this would have been possible. Thanks to you two, we'll be able to provide a constant supply of food for one and all. Thumbs up. Having said that, this life isn't the one we had in mind. We came here to study the effects of timefall on plant life. We never intended to stick around and become farmers. But then we got to thinking, it might be possible to reclaim crater soil. And one thing led to another. I don't know if Amelie expected we'd stay here this long, and we're still keen to continue our research. We've got more to offer to the world than wheat. But if we don't move on, does that mean that we really have become slaves to it after all? Ooh.
Oh, I just bring the boxes.
That's all we have to do?
All new hematic grenades. How goes the struggle, Sam? Use any of those grenades I gave you yet? I haven't. I've been looking into mass producing them, actually. Took a gander under the hood, so to speak, and I saw that they're filled with a regulator that limits the amount of blood they drain from your body when you're not feeling your best. Good old mama, always looking out. That said, where you're headed, the BTs are only going to get tougher and meaner. So I took the liberty of making a few modifications. They're way more powerful now, but they'll also use a lot more of your blood, which will increase the risk of anemia.
Oh.
Mama might object, but let's just say I have different ideas about how to help people look out for themselves. Anyway, they're just prototypes, so you can't print yourself replacements yet. But they're yours for the using. Go ahead and give one a try.
All right. Well, eventually.
So fortunately, we get refills every time we do a mission for him. At this point,
okay.
So he just drops them off. And having blood bags means we don't drain our own blood. Therefore, We're good. Mm-hmm.
Countries are bullshit, but yo, I like this guy more and more. I love the Elder.
Borders are stupid. Who gives a fuck where you from? Yo, the Elder is blasting 3-6 Mafia. Who gives a fuck where you from?
Who you with?
I'm from the ATL, bitch. Who gives a fuck where you from?
Let me tell you a story about the good old days, back when the US of A was alive and well, and the world still hadn't gone to hell in a handbasket. We had us a president said he was fixing to build a border wall to protect the people. And guess where I was born? On the other side of that goddamn wall. That's where. If it went up, I'd be cut off from my family, my friends, everybody I left behind when I crossed over. Land of the free, my ass. Free.
Next email. Uh-oh. You.
Show it. Show me the true face of the US of A.
Have to say over here? One step closer. Let's talk about the beach, Reggie.
Woolie, I need that. Ooh. This is how you understand the times, okay?
It's not about understanding the times. It's about Koji. It's Koji talking through the Elder. Here we go.
Free for some, maybe. And so I got to thinking, me being an immigrant and all, if something happened, would I be the first on the list for help from them in charge? Would I even be on the list? Reckon the answer was shit, no. So I figured I had to look out for number one, built me a shelter and got everything ready for life in case of an event. And guess what happened next? Yep, the Stranding. Borders, countries, governments, it's all bullshit. At least that's how it was. Maybe it always will be, but if you really believe that their chiral network of yours can bring people together, no matter what walls stand between them, then spread it all over. But you damn well better make sure that you do right by each and every American. Only then can you ask them to do right by the UCA. That's the social contract, and don't you ever forget it. I'm taking a chance on you, Bridges, not because I believe in you and yours, but because I want to. Don't let me down again, punk-ass motherfucker.
Yep.
Yeah, we don't see that part
there you go.
Email, but yeah. How you like that?
Comments, thoughts, questions?
How you like that?
Concerns?
Will the immigrants be taken care of?
I mean, in America? You're talking about the wall within America, right? After the Death Stranding.
Yes.
Certainly.
Everybody's the same.
Bro, I don't know about you, but all I'm saying is if we could If you can contain the BTs by putting them in cages, then why not?
Oh my god.
BTs in cages means we all stay safe, Reggie.
But the kids are already in the cages, though.
The BTs in the cage means they can't attack you.
So we throw the kids out in the wild, out of the cages?
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm talking about BTs. I'm talking about putting the beached things that refuse to die inside of cages that cannot hurt us.
Fair.
And we stay safe. I don't know where you're going. You're talking about some other shit. Okay?
That's fair.
It's not. I mean, I don't get the problem. I don't see what the big fucking deal is.
Oh.
One step closer to fleshing out Ultratech. Hey Sam, I just submitted my latest progress report. No, the Evo Devo units utilize the chiral network to access the beach, but I don't know. I don't understand how. I'm not sure anybody does, but whoever came up with the theory behind it is a bona fide genius. We can't reclaim the past we lost, but piecing it together from what's left is the next best thing. Must have took a truly great mind to figure that out. You know what it reminds me of? Pictures. After all, what's a picture but a fragment? A two-dimensional snapshot of space and time, not to mention the thoughts and feelings of whoever took it. Physical memory to match the ones in our heads. They say that we each got our own beach, and that these beaches that we route the network through. Maybe that's part of it. Maybe there's more of us in our memories in the beaches than we realize. But I'm just a layman when it comes to this stuff. If anything, you've got a better chance of understanding it. You're the one with dooms after all.
Okay.
I don't know. I can't whale noise.
Okay.
How's your mic?
Now it's back.
Was it gone?
Yep, I was...
okay.
I heard a mute and then I tapped myself.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
The film director.
We used to pack into the theaters. I tried toying with that tablet you brought me, such a flimsy, cheap thing, and yet it was capable of displaying all manner of video and imagery, courtesy of my contract with Bridges. I suppose it could be useful in some respects, but the experience is ultimately lacking.
Womp womp.
I long for the halcyon days when the people would pack themselves in the movie theaters, when we'd laugh together, cry together, jump in fright together, when cinema was a communal experience. But then came the tyranny of the tablets, which reshaped how media was shot, all dramatic close-ups and cliffhangers designed to draw you into the next installment. Bah! It was a far cry from the golden age of film, from when the silver screen reigned supreme. I tell you, I was born a century too late. Oh, poor buddy.
I mean, he says that, but I just went to go see Star Wars, and I was sitting next to two annoying kids that were loud and fucking on their phone and being shitty.
Oh, yeah.
So there's always that, but you need the right crowd. Like, the Fantasia crowd's pretty good.
Oh, yes. All the time.
But, like, fuck that, those kids. Fuck those kids.
Looking at something here?
Hold up. Let's get it in there.
Halcyon.
Okay.
What did you think? You're just wondering?
Yep.
What was the pronunciation?
I don't think I've ever heard it said out loud.
Okay.
I've read it, but I don't think I've ever... I think that's the first time I've ever heard it said out loud. Halcyon.
Yeah, I didn't know how else to say it, so that's how I went with it.
I remember the first time I read it, I full-on dyslexed it and read it as Halicon.
Halicon?
Yeah. And then I was like, wait, what is this word?
Yeah, okay.
I read it as Halicon when I was younger. Junk disposal.
Yeah.
Sam Bridges, I have a job for you, should you be interested. A pile of junk is accumulated near my shelter, and it needs to be... I was going to do that anyway. There's a problem, however. Some of the aforementioned waste products may be contaminated by chiralium, which means that the only safe place to dispose of them is the Crater Lake in the south. To the south. Should be easy enough for a Bridges man such as yourself, but it's up to you whether or not to take the job. It would certainly help me view you and your kind more favorably if you were to agree to help me, however. Jesus. Shut up. Like, I guess that's before he got his wife, but what a douchey thing to say. It's like, I know I got you on the hook, and I gotta be like, maybe I'll fucking... After I sent you to go pick up junk. You're kind. Yeah. I'm sure he's a great husband. Can't wait to read the latest email.
Oh,
wow. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So that's another... But that wasn't... Okay, I have to go see if it's an official listed mission. Because it was all just sitting there anyway, so I was going to go do it. You know?
Okay. Started using utility pouches, Sam. Sam, my man. Loyal love for you here in Port Knot City. Everyone's talking about how you hooked us up to the network and took out that BT. Makes me feel a little better about how Igor went out. Knowing that he was in the company of a real hero like you. Thumbs up. By the way, I've been wondering, you've been using the utility pouches? They make it real easy to carry an extra blood bag or two, and you ought to know better than anyone how much BTs hate the stuff. In fact, if you got a bag of red on you, I'd strongly recommend popping it in a pouch. Give it a try at least. I mean, what do you have to lose? Folks used to use all kinds of pouches, you know. Haven't seen much variety for a while now, but back in the days, porters would rock customized backpacks, decked out with a dozen or more specialized pouches. Who knows, if you're lucky, you might even find someone to design one just for you.
Rob Liefeld?
Let's go. Could be the beginning of a virtuous circle, if you ask me. The more you succeed in bringing in our people together, the more likely you'll turn up some of these old pouch designs, which in turn ought to help you in your work and to get others on board. Good luck.
Oh my God. The master himself? Could you imagine?
Nice pouches.
Yo. That would be...
stylish pouches.
Well, what was it? There was a character that showed up somewhere that was just a man made of pouches. It was like a pouch man, and it was a Liefeld pouch man. It was the same like Cable and Deadpool style. Like it was, I don't know where it was, but that shit was fucking amazing. It was the most on point it's ever been. It's like Kingdom Hearts with the zippers, you know? Take a dip in some hot springs. Feeling tired, Sam? I wouldn't blame you. After all, you're not a machine. You need breaks and whatnot. Lucky for you, I know the perfect place. Some hot springs. A hop, a skip, and a jump northeast from where the junk dealers hold up. The Crater Digestive Baths, I believe they're called. Good for getting the bowels moving in case you're backed up.
There you go.
But the water is also good for general aches and pains. Miraculous healing properties, apparently. It does wonders for a stressed BB even. Not one that's suffering from autotoxemia, though, obviously. Anyway, should give it a try sometime. What happens when BB maxes out its bar?
I don't want to know. I'm afraid of what's going to happen.
I thought it would have been like, I don't know if it was an instant game over, but the way he's talking, it sounds like it's not. Maybe it's like you have a countdown to get back to a bunker or something. But yeah, like anytime any of those bars starts hitting its bottom, I'm like, I assume it's death.
Yeah.
You know, stamina runs out.
To, like, make it go.
Blood runs out. BB gets bad. Got a yellow email here.
Order. Delivery for a prepper. Sam, I have a delivery request for you. There's a prepper out there who's got a special talent. Calls herself a cosplayer, and she can apparently dress herself up to look like damn near anyone and anything. There's no one better when it comes to designing and making clothes and accessories, but she needs a new sewing kit to finish her current project. Would you find one and deliver it to her? I'm pretty sure she'd have something interesting to offer you in return. Thanks. Maybe some Patreon set, you know.
Yeah.
Like, boudoir set, or maybe a private Snapchat access.
Lewd and implied. I'm curious to see who the cosplayer is. You really are unique, aren't you? Sam Bridges? Maybe it's just my imagination, but ever since I signed a contract, I swear I've seen you at least a half dozen times here or there. Was it your hologram, perhaps? Surely it couldn't have been every time. Not when you came to see me bearing gifts. Nevertheless, it's hard to believe that there's only one of you running around, though. It's equally hard to believe that there's so many others that could resemble you so very much. What the fuck?
What?
Could I have been seeing a ghost or someone masquerading as you, perhaps? Oh,
no
dear.
Way.
What have I gotten myself into? Well, you leave me no choice. Next time you come through, bring a Cupid of yours and make me an official member of the UCA. You're the only one doing that for people, correct? You should prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that you're really you. So, like, all the other Sams in everyone else's video game are canon? I mean, when I go, hey, my name's Sam, and then the fucking game goes, my name's Sam too, right?
Yes.
And there's all these little moments of other Sams doing things. Like, are they actually real?
Damn.
Is this a connected continuity? Strange.
Interesting concept. Thanks for delivering the prototype. Sam, I heard you delivered the samples we provided. Good stuff. Thanks for that. We really appreciate it. I know it was probably weird for you, me and her being separated and all, and I'm not going to pretend I wasn't a stupid asshole about, well, everything. Anyway, I just wanted to say that we're grateful. I just hope that stuff comes in handy one day. By the way, we've got a few more designs we're working on, so if you like the look of that kit, drop by our shelter for a gander. Hopefully the things we're working on will prove useful. If not to you, then to someone. See you around, Sam.
Yeah, they gave me the gold ladder.
Yeah, okay, that was nice. The cow ladder thing, or...
We got married!
Hey!
How are you holding up, Sam? No, we're not doing this.
No,
we're not doing this. We're not.
No, we are
this.
definitely not doing this.
We are tapping out of this immediately. We're not going down this road. You must have walked more than 1,000 miles by now. Try not to let it get to you. I'm sure it must be lonely work. Well, anyway, I wanted to get in touch and tell you that we got married. I know. Who gets married in this day and age, right? But through the chiral network, we've got in touch and with a priest, and we said our vows, and that was it.
Wow.
Silly, maybe. But it seems to have brought smiles to a few faces, so... Thanks for making it possible. We owe you more than we can say.
Easier than in Vegas.
Yeah.
Just log on the internet and you're good. You're
done.
The cow artist's mother. Please look out for them.
Fucking, ooh, God, Ultra Instinct Karen.
Dear Sam, wonderful news. My daughter's getting married. Oh, though you've probably been wondering, we're not related at all. I've never even been married, let alone had any kids. I took her in 5 or so years back after her parents died. She could barely speak a word of English. Her parents had been Japanese, but we managed in our own way. It's funny, until the moment we met, I thought I was destined to live out my life alone. But as soon as I laid eyes on her, that changed. I knew in my heart that I had to protect her, make sure no one ever hurt her. So I ended up doing that myself by being too overprotective in the end. I've tried to make up for it. My daughter's leaving the nest at last, and I couldn't be happier for her. All I can do now is pray and hope for the best, and I'd be awful grateful if you could look in on her and her husband from time to time, just to make sure they're doing okay.
You were overprotective, and now she's married to an asshole.
Yep, that's what happens when you coddle your children. Grow up and they either implode or explode. What?
It's like literally, it's like the entire thing. Like that kid is clearly the type of person who, as much happiness as it brought for him to see her and for them to have that moment, you're like, yeah, but what about when he loses his temper?
Yeah.
Right? He looks like one of those motherfuckers. What about?
Yep.
What about?
You're sleeping in the junkyard tonight.
Damn.
Honey, no. A strange light at the incinerator.
Yeah, all you gotta do is fucking take a swim in the tar pits.
Wow.
No one's gonna see. Who's going to check? That shit swallowed a nuke, Reggie.
We are not disposing of people
I read Sin City.
right after marrying them.
The tar pits.
Gosh.
Anything goes.
This is going to sound crazy.
Anything goes down at the tar pits. This is going to sound crazy, but you got to believe me, Sam. So I was at the incinerator. They found the body near the way station and it needed to be burned. Since we don't exactly have a team of corpse disposal guys on call, I was given the job. I've been outside more than the other guys really lately, so it makes sense. I wasn't like I could say no. Someone had to do it. Doesn't mean I wasn't scared shitless though. I don't have dooms or anything, but you don't need special powers to know when a BT's caught your scent. I could tell they weren't far behind. I just wanted to get the job done and come home. But then one of the fuckers popped up out of nowhere and nearly gave me a heart attack. Ooh. Sometimes I make it into the incinerator without getting grabbed. And that's when things got really weird. I saw this glowing thing. Light, I guess? This light? I wanted to take a closer look, but I wasn't about to take any chances. I had to get the hell out of there, and I wasn't... I can't stop thinking about it now. You should go check it out if you have the chance. So, right. Strange light at the incinerator. Write that down. Doom's confirmed for superpowers.
All right. William Lake, Middle Knot City got nuked. You probably heard, but Middle Knot City was nuked about a year back. Civilians, staff, everyone and everything, gone. In the blink of an eye. They said it was a terrorist attack. Demons doing their thing. Assholes. Fragile got caught up in the whole mess somehow too. So I wasn't privy to the details.
I think assholes is a bit of an understatement.
Yep, that's pretty polite considering everything. Long story short, they started screening deliveries a whole lot more thoroughly. Not that it made a difference. It was one tragedy after another. We lost half of South Knot City not long after. Half's better than all, but a whole lot of people still died, and it shook the rest up pretty bad. They started to wonder if joining the UCA wasn't the worst choice they've ever made. And the more people said it out loud, the more paranoid they got. It festered. It spread. It's that thinking, beyond the city even. Not that it takes much for your average prepper to buy in. You might think becoming a part of the Chiral network would have helped calm things down a little, but we still don't have a handle on the terrorists. It could fall apart at any moment, and if it does, we can't let it beat us. Even if everything we've built breaks down, we've got to do what we can to patch it up. That's all there is to it. It's trying to survive after the calamity and the destruction.
Briefcase nukes, though, man.
Yep, easy to get by.
I remember when I heard someone or read I don't know where I got the information, but I remember hearing that apparently there are a couple of briefcase nukes that exist, and that they exist. I heard that that is a thing that can be done. And I don't remember if it was American or not, but it's already at that level, basically. But I don't know how real that is. Yeah. Peter Englert, a desperate plea for second pizza pie. Oh, here we go. Dear Mr. Sam Bridges, it is I, Peter Englert, the world's foremost connoisseur of delicious pizzas you so faithfully deliver.
Oh, God.
Though my impudence would shame the very devil himself, I regret I must entreat you to bring us another... This sounds like a British voice. I regret that I must entreat you to bring us another of these delectable dishes, this time from South Knot City. I am expecting company, a sweet couple of whom I am intensely fond. They insisted they be allowed to take the air, but with the wilderness being so very dangerous, I refuse to entertain the thought. Alas! While we be remaining indoors, I am incapable of preparing anything but the most base and disagreeable cuisine. And so I must place myself at your mercy yet again, lest the poor dears starve. While I have already, I am very much aware, gone far beyond the bounds of common decency in making this request, I must compound my sins with a stipulation. The pizza in question must be topped with the bacon of the incomparable Iberico.
That is so fancy, dude. Do you know Iberico fucking...
That's real?
Yes.
What is an Iberico pig?
Okay, the only reason why I know this is because one of my friends made a party. We hadn't seen each other in years, had a bunch of people over, and he ordered a 20-pound ham that was available on the Costco website of Jamon Iberico Belota, which was, I think, $1,300 Canadian. $1,300.
For ham.
For 20-pound leg of ham.
What the fuck.
He's a happy man in life. Let's just say that.
That's fine.
And this pig is basically they keep him in a forest between, I think, Spain and Portugal, and they're free roaming in the forest, and they just eat chestnuts out of the ground, and they're super happy, and they kill them, they bleed them like however they have to do it, and they dry them, and it is the best ham I have ever put in my mouth, ever, free. Beyond you don't. It's not.
How is it prepared?
Like they just cure it and like they
But I mean, did you eat it as like a cooked?
Oh, basically, it's all dried up. It's a dried leg.
Okay.
Of the ham, and they just like cut thin slices and they serve it to people.
Okay.
And if you go to a store, you can find it too. Like maybe not pelota, but you can find the iberico. And it's really expensive. Like a few slices will be a few dollars.
13 large for a fucking leg.
Yep, and it's delicious. Wow. He made a party for it. He was like, I'm going to have a celebration. I'm going to invite people over. Let's do this in my place. We go there.
I thought like foie gras and like you know, filet mignons and fancy steaks and shit were expensive. I have never heard of anything like that.
It's so good.
It's that good.
A cured leg of iberico pelota.
But is cured the best way to serve it too? Like I feel like
that's how they dry it.
That's how they did it. Okay, okay.
It's dried and they just serve it to you and you eat it and you're like, I'm very happy.
Because cured meats is not the best tasting version of meat. So that you know what I mean? Like
that one's worth it.
How much better would it be if it were like done differently? But that's okay. Okay.
It was really good.
Iberico.
So that guy,
he knows his
wants
deal.
Fancy ass bacon. Like we did a pizza like that at the event, and it was godlike. But for him in the post-apocalypse to ask for that,
I'm so curious now because I've had the best beef I've ever had was in Japan, and now I'm like, but what about this pig though? Iberico. Okay.
Jamón ibérico pelota.
Hey Sam, South Knot lives to see another day, huh? I remember the bomb those bastards set off before. People said Fragile was working with them, but they had it backwards. She was trying to save us, just like you did. Fortunately, this time everybody knows her part in it. Fragile's name won't be in the mud anymore around here much longer, I'll wager. It's all too easy to forget. Oh, I guess he told them what happened? Or maybe Die Hard did. It's all too easy to forget we're still alive because of people outside of our little enclave. But you helped remind us that we're not alone. We're part of the UCA, which means we can't just look to others for assistance. We've got to give back in return too, and we will. There you go.
Not bad.
That's the thank you I was waiting for, instead of just like, hey, you delivered the packages. Good job.
Recovery requests. Resources scattered by the supercell. That's a okay Japanese band. Anyway. Anime songs. Sam, I heard you were at Mama's place. Well, I've got a request for you direct from Bridges. There's some cargo, rare metals, that got swept up in a supercell and ended up at the bottom of a waterfall, northwest of South Knot. We need you to track it down and get to the city. Check Mama's terminal for the official order. By the way, we've received eyewitness reports of a small glowing object somewhere in the vicinity. Retrieving it's not part of the order, but I thought you might be interested regardless. Hate to hit you up direct, but we can't leave that cargo sitting there forever, and you're the best and only man for the job. A lot of people are counting on you. So,
scattered by the supercell. So it looks like small glowing things are going to be the special collectibles.
All right.
Surprised I haven't seen any with my own eyes yet. Are we destroying ourselves?
Oh boy. That sounds
Is it in our nature to kill ourselves?
That sounds very Kojima.
Is it in our nature to kill each other?
Yeah.
Is it in our nature to kill? Before you came through, there were people blaming Bridges for our troubles left and right, saying it was their fault terrorists were targeting us more and more. There's no denying that they were. Not after we lost Middle Knot and half of South. Not to mention the other small incidents all over. Hell, even our old friend Mama got mixed up in one too.
Ugh.
What we've got isn't new, though. Well, before the Stranding, folks all over had a hard-on for stockpiling nukes and other WMDs.
Oh, shit.
Frankly, the world hadn't gone to shit. If the world hadn't gone to shit, we'd probably have blown it up by now. I tell you, there's nothing more dangerous and destructive than human beings.
There you have it.
Kojima.
Yep, I knew it.
Call it morbid, but part of me wants us to get it all over with already. If we're gonna. It's what humanity deserves, isn't it? If the stupidity we've shown in the wake of the Stranding is any indication.
Yeah. Long live the cynics. The jaded. Oh.
The pessimistic.
Yep. What's happening here? Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Reggie, if you would.
That Vegas wedding didn't work out in the end. The junk dealer. Married sucks. You still breaking your back, hauling shit through the wilderness, Sam? Ever long for a little company? I know I used to. Not anymore. Between you and me, I can't help thinking life was easier back when I was on my own. The freedom to do whatever the hell I wanted. No one pissing and moaning over every tiny thing.
Marriage at risk.
Yo, where does this girl get off being so fucking fussy? I swear I can't do anything right. Should have seen the fight we had the other night. I tell you, it's true what they say. Familiarity breeds contempt. Don't ever get married, Sam. Don't do it. It's not worth it. This shit is stupid. She's gonna bounce with half-mile shit. Once I'm done with her, I am sick and tired already.
I love you, honey. Half an hour later.
God damn it! He learned that much Japanese in a second.
No, she switched to it, I'm saying.
Oh, damn.
She just brought it out.
She's heavy. Like, what? What the fuck you looking at? I'm sorry, honey.
Yeah,
that's right.
This is hilarious. And I bet you, I don't believe him. I bet you it's him. I bet you're the problem, junk dealer.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the next letter from her, from the artist, to be like, oh, I need help, Sam. Sam, he hits me.
Or who knows, dude? Who knows? Time to fucking drop kick that door and start squirting my blood all over him.
If she says that he's acting up, we're dropping there. That's the next mission we're doing. As soon as we get that message, we're going and taking care of that asshole.
We got a tar pit right down south.
Tar pit?
Yo. Tar pit down south. Yeah. Oh, wow. We can actually sort it by
people.
By sender. Look at that. By all is, of course, the most reasonable way.
Very nice. All right. What do we have here? 99 plus. I hope it's including tips. Memory chips.
We got the Honda. We got the Matango.
Oh, do we have to turn them in or something?
I already did.
Okay.
When you turn them in, this is what happens.
So,
is this just a manga or a movie?
Mushrooms in this cult.
Oh, it's a movie. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
7 castaways on a deserted island with one rule: don't eat the mushrooms. But that's all that's left, and follows the fate of those who are forced to eat the mushroom. And they are the precursors of Death Stranding's cryptobiotes.
Oh, they're actually telling you the references.
This is great.
That's good. That's fun. Koji telling you where he gets his stuff from. Right on.
Very interesting. I dig it.
Subtext is for cowards. No more emails from the unknown porter, though.
Okay. Let's go then. Interviews.
Die Hard Man.
Want to take it?
There was a series of huge explosions. Well, not so much as a series. They were simultaneous worldwide. The situation after the first Death Stranding incident. The global comms infrastructure was shot to hell, but we salvaged what we could and tried to make sense of what had happened. It seemed like it didn't seem like much at the time, but it was a hell of a lot better than what we have now. Anyway, the government figured the whole thing was a terrorist attack at first. We'd been dealing with a lot of those back then, but it didn't take long to see what this was something else. The craters left by the blasts were bizarre. There was no rubble, no dust, even. which led the scientists to rule out meteor strikes. There was a trace of neutron radiation, alpha rays, but we knew it wasn't nukes either. Some of the particles we detected had never been seen before, chiralium, although we didn't know it at the time. The more we studied them, the more our scientists came to the same conclusion. These were the results of annihilation events. It was right about that time that the chiral cloud started to form, and after that, all communication with the outside world went down for good.
Okay.
That's a fucking... Yeah, that'll wipe a good chunk out.
Yeah.
You know? The confuse... Like, anytime there's an apocalypse, it's like, how little do you understand the apocalyptic event? And is the persisting threat understandable?
Yeah.
Right? If it's not, you are losing like half or more type of thing.
Extinction level events.
Extinction events, as they say, yeah. Because there's things where it's like, okay, we understand what happened. A bunch of people went and, let's say, like 20th Century Boys, right? Do you know 20th Century Boys?
I haven't seen it.
Okay.
My friend told me it was an excellent
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing, right? But that's like a situation where it's like a bunch of human beings put a bunch of poison in a bunch of places, and like they just spread and affected everybody in the area. And once you understand what's happening, you're like, oh, okay, I got it, right? Okay. But then there's a movie like A Quiet Place. Do you know A Quiet Place?
Yeah, I heard about it, yeah.
Yeah, have you seen it?
No.
No, okay.
But
I have a hard time. I have comparison.
But it's okay, they're listening though.
Okay.
Keep going.
A Quiet Place is a perfect example because without going into, you should watch it, right? Without going into any detail, noise is a problem. And think about how, it's like Fugu. Think about how many people have to die horribly before you understand that, noise is the problem, right? You would never think that, but suddenly here we are, It's an interesting kind of event. So when I'm looking at this situation where you're just like, everyone becomes a personal nuke, a pan-sized nuke, and clouds form that cause rain, and then the dead are floating around and you can't see them.
Yeah.
But they can get you, and you can avoid them if you stop breathing. There's so many levels of unknowable specifics that you just die for any little fuck up.
The first time you're like, oh, what the fuck?
The second time, the third time, the fourth time, you're dead. Yeah. The fifth time, you're dead. Right? It's gonna take massive swaths of numbers wiping people out before you get the next level of okay, so it turns out they don't move until they notice you. Yeah. Okay, so it turns out breathing is what lets you. Okay, so it turns out they don't have eyesight. Okay, so you know what I mean? You have to, and how many people would have figured that out but still died to the third or fourth step? It's so fucked, Anyway.
No blue in the inverted rainbow. Dead man 1 year ago. Bridges HQ. We humans are complex multicellular organisms. 60 trillion cells inside of each one of us, they say. How many of these cells need to die for us to consider a person dead? Are there any cells in particular which determine whether a person is alive or dead? These questions are academic, of course. The exact point of death can't be calculated using cell counts. On the other hand, no one can deny the existence of degenerative diseases that gradually destroy more and more cells, leaving their victim effectively half dead. And what about me? Most of my organs have been harvested from other people. What? Okay, they still work, of
Guillermo.
course. But could their original owner have been said to be alive? I really don't know. Incidentally, have you ever heard of a little fun experiment they once did with roundworms called C. elegans? These creatures are notable for glowing bright blue when they are exposed to UV light, but only when they die. It seems to be a reaction from the anthranylic acid within the organism, and it's known as death fluorescence. Yep, that's right. Blue is very much the color of death, it seems. Can it therefore really be a coincidence that there's no blue in an inverted rainbow? Timefall strengthens an area's connection to the beach. This is something to do with chiral particles becoming excited, I believe. In spaces connected to the beach, electromagnetic waves Electromagnetic waves with a blue wavelength can travel easily through the seam, leaking out onto the beach. Some people think that's where the blue from the inverted rainbow goes. Who knows? The fact that blue has a strong connection to death, though, that much seems pretty inarguable. You know, it's...
that is a stretch.
Actually, you know, screens, they have the blue light, and this is detrimental to our health, apparently. This blue light that the screen emits, it messes up with our rhythm, with our brain waves. So I don't know if like he's trying to pull into this information about this.
Every computer I have has Flux installed on it.
So you have that dimmed light that's better.
It's all orange. It's all orange.
But the big bright, the blue stuff, apparently it's very bad for you.
I know it fucks with your circadian rhythms, but I didn't hear about any other effects. But like, I guess I'm just like the connection of like it also feels like something Kojima does from time to time is like, hey, have you heard about this specific weird instance that led to this specific result?
Yeah, well,
that explains the whole thing.
Yeah. I'm gonna twist it, and this is the main thing in my story.
Remember when the Egyptians talked about the ha and the ka? That explains the whole thing. That wasn't a specific single instance. That's the whole thing.
I dig it. I love this.
It's pretty funny. Blue is the color of death. And that's why the whole game is blue HUDs with blue lasers, blue lights, blue technology, blue everywhere. Because this is Death Stranding. It's like, okay, you found a reason to connect these things together, but man, is that one of those like... You know, like a specific example of a specific case study that just becomes the piece de résistance. Yeah. You know, that's a fucking Koji move.
Color of death. Some would say it's also the warmest color.
Blue?
Yeah.
How does that make any sense?
It's a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's pretty warm. It gets pretty warm. It's anyway, King Midas and the Cowl Crystals.
No, not here.
Oh yeah, we're crossing.
Yeah. I know, I see. Right, sorry, I thought you were reading the current thing. Yeah. I was gonna say, what was the one other thing?
After Blue Death?
No, shit. There was something else like that he did. I was going to use as an example of like a specific scientific example that became the reason for the whole theme, you know, but it's gone. Yeah, let's go. King Midas and the Chiral Crystals. Hartman's Lab. Hold on, let me get some water.
Sure. Hey, we've been styling for hours now. Mm-hmm. If you're watching this video, drink some water.
Thank you. Hey, look, my Kirby is blue.
Oh my god, it's dying.
What are the odds? This is Death Kirby over here. Anyway, let's see. King Midas and the Chiral Crystals. I like the Heartman stuff, actually. I can't wait to meet him.
Yeah.
Rumors have been circulating regarding a man who calls himself King Midas. Unlike his namesake from Greek mythology, however, this gentleman does not turn all that he touches to gold. Instead, he claims to wield the power to create chiral crystals at will.
Damn.
The stories suggest this power is the result of experiments involving organisms which possessed a similar ability. I am, of course, aware of the existence of microbes that could melt and condense gold, in effect extracting it from ore deposits. But this is the first I've heard of any organism that can do something similar with chiralium. The organisms are apparently akin to cryptobiotes, as well as the coral that is found in the seam, in that they exist outside of time. I forgot about the seam. If this man truly managed to harvest any such organisms, then it is extraordinary. It's an extraordinary achievement which could untold possibilities, veritable bioalchemy even. Much like his mythical counterpart, however, King Midas is said to have paid a heavy price for his power. Indeed, his body is turned into a mass of particles, a side effect of crystallizing all the chiralium with which he came into contact. It is said that the only evidence of his existence are 2 golden handprints he left behind. Now, I must temper this rather dramatic story by stressing that no microbes capable of the previous described ability had been detected. As such, I suspect the king is nothing more than an urban legend, the kind of story spun by dreamers in a world where chiral crystals are rare and precious and can only be collected from perilous timefall-soaked places. Perhaps we can even consider it a morality tale, the moral being, of course, that greed is never good, whether one lusts for gold or chiral crystals. It is, however, a remarkable coincidence that not long after I first heard talk of this modern-day King Midas, I also started to hear rumors concerning a man wearing a golden death mask. Might the two be related? Who knows?
Interesting.
Higgs says, I love gold.
The smell of it, the taste of it, gold.
I mean, if he's dooms it out, if chiral crystals and chiralium cause all the fucking amazing things that we see to happen, and his dooms is letting him do it, then that's that. Is that not that? I thought for a second they were trying to explain that the reason why hands are the formation that chiral crystals come in is because of this lore. But at the very least, they tail-ended it with like, it's probably bullshit. Unless...
But what if, though? What if?
Yeah.
Huh?
Can I put my Minecraft bed next to yours? Nah, just kidding. Unless...
Evolution, Death Stranding, and the Fear of Dying. 1 year ago, Hartman. Death has been Homo sapiens' constant companion for every step of our evolutionary journey. Our cultures and civilizations have been built with an awareness of our relationship with death, the extent to which we can accept and live with it. Out of fear of the inevitable decomposition and destruction of the flesh, our ancestors developed elaborate embalming techniques, death masks, and the like. Indeed, the mask has ever been a symbol of the soul that transcends this world to exist for eternity in the next. The mummies and sarcophagi of the ancient Egypt are but one instance of this. Honored individuals were given masks and placed inside sarcophagi in order to be preserved for eternity, thereby transcending death and attaining immortality. Paintings and photographs are no different, really. They are simply more modern variants of the Egyptians' masks and sarcophagi. Indeed, all of humanity's crowning achievements, art, language, writing, are arguably a reaction to death and an expression of our desire to overcome it. They are great feats born from fear, and one might even go as far to say that it was the primal fear of death that drove the evolution of our ancestors into Homo sapiens in the first place. In fact, I would go further still. I would posit that it was this fear that brought about the Death Stranding itself. It has certainly seemed more and more plausible of late.
Well, I mean...
Fear of dying, motivating...
Belief in itself is not going to cause physical things to happen. Well, that's not true, actually. There's the placebo effect. But you know what I mean. Sarcophagi.
Sarcophagi?
Like sarcophagus.
Yes.
Kind of thing. Yeah, same kind of word. Okay, interesting. So the takeaway text here is the mask.
Oh, yeah.
And who wears a mask? The bad guy. And Die Hard Man.
Yep. Only other person. And that mask in the reveal...
He showed a Die Hard Man mask before he showed his own face.
It looks similar, huh?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know.
Maybe they know each other.
Well... Who knows? But right now, I think they're the only masked characters. Yeah. I think so. My father came up with the name Fragile Express before I was born. Oh, well, there you go. That explains that. The U.S. was Swiss cheese back then. All the void outs had left craters as far as the eye could see. People were losing their minds, looking for a way out. They thought the government would have their back, but it was gone. All the systems, all the gears that kept their world turning, smashed to bits in a matter of seconds. When everything you know breaks, it's not hard to break yourself. Before our new network, there was an old one. The whole nation was online 24/7. Cameras and microphones everywhere, watching and listening and recording. There was a strange sort of comfort in that, people said. It was certainly a certainty that someone somewhere would know if you were in trouble. But after the stranding, that all vanished into the ether. No one was looking out anymore. No one was coming to save you. A lot of folks died waiting before the rest caught on and took matters into their own hands. My father was one of the latter. He'd been working for a private logistics company, and he had some friends that figured out they were in a position to bring people supplies and repair vital infrastructure Americans were used to rely on to survive. They were builders, men and women who understood the value of what was lost and wanted to reclaim it. My father and them really believed that they could get it all back, bit by bit, and make us whole, make us America. It was a precious, fragile dream, like so much back then, but they nurtured it, and if it stayed true, he knew it could all be ours again. People, ideas, connections, all so fragile. Yep. The USA was nothing more than a network of people and the connections between them. No wonder it broke apart so easily. But everything that's worth something is fragile. That's why I was given this name. My father's not with us anymore, but the bond between us remains, fragile though it is. But I guess so. That's her actual given name then.
Yeah.
In addition to her company that she inherited from her dad, in addition to her physical state.
Freedom is fragile.
It's also not free.
Damn.
It costs folks like you and me. And if you don't chip in that $1.05, who will?
Gotta work hard.
Freedom isn't free, Reggie.
Freedom is not free.
There's a hefty fucking fee.
Yeah.
And if you don't chip in that $1.05, who will?
Pay the troll toll.
That's not... freedom is not the boy's hole, Reggie.
Yeah. Prepper interview, the junk dealer, personal shelter. Incredible, isn't it? This hourglass.
Hold on a second. I just need to... Oh my god. Like, the word fragile is so overdone in that context. Yeah. Oh, it's really heavy-handed. But I get it. I get what he's going for. It's just... it's a lot on one plate. All right.
Incredible, isn't it? This hourglass. See how the sand flows upwards? Got chiral particles in it, that's why it moves like that. And look at the shape of the glass, so elegant, so delicate. Just like the girl who made it. Hard to believe it's even of this world. But it was made by human hands. Alright. Crazy, isn't it? No wonder everyone in South Knot City knows her work. You can imagine how I felt when she gave it to me. I guess you could say it was a thank you present. She'd asked me to fix something for her, and this was what I got in return. You know, I've done jobs for all kinds of over the year. But none of my other customers ever did anything like this for me. Most will just toss you a couple of likes, and that's the end of it. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with a like or two. It's just, this was different. The moment she gave me the hourglass, I knew I wanted to be with her. Never happened though. Ain't cut out for love and relationships. Don't have what it takes. Other people kind of scare me, to be honest. Still, even if we can't be together, at least I'll have this hourglass.
And they lived happily ever after.
No problem whatsoever. Yep.
America of the past. Oh, boy.
Don't peek into the future, buddy.
Oh, boy.
Don't peek into the future.
You want to hear about America? Well, you asked for it. If you're looking for some rose-tinted bullshit, you come to the wrong place.
Oi, du steiner, ja!
I was an immigrant, you see. Nothing special about that. The whole country was built by immigrants, right? It's the elder, not. It's not. It's
not.
It's the elder. It's not. It's
I thought it was the junk dealer.
It's not the junk dealer. It's the elder, Reggie. Your joke is failing.
Might be. I was up in my own story right there. There was a switch.
I was an immigrant, you see. Nothing special about that. The whole country was built by immigrants. He's getting ready to hit the campaign trail.
We just read the junk dealer right there, right?
This is Prepper's section. So this is the engineer. This is the craftsman.
We just read the junk dealer.
We just read the junk dealer, but the next one after the junk dealer.
And he was happy with the hourglass stuff.
That was before the marriage.
Yeah, okay.
You know. But 90 Day Fiancé says if you want to stay inside this bunker.
Oh, God.
If you got to stay 90 days before we legally allow you to live in this bunker.
3
but
months.
Until then, you know, and then what happens after the honeymoon period, right? 90 Day Fiancé, Death Stranding. Let's get it done. All right. So,
All right, carry on.
Back to the politics talk. Back
okay.
to the moderator of the debates going on these days. I was an immigrant, you see. Nothing special about that. The whole country was built by immigrants. Right off the bat, I could see it wasn't quite the land of the free I'd been led to believe. But for a while there, it wasn't so bad. Even bought into the American dream for a minute. I mean, hell, they let a black guy and a woman take a shot at the presidency, you know? Didn't last, though. Somewhere along the line, people become so damned intolerant. All of a sudden, there wasn't any room for other options. Or people, for that matter. We even elected a guy right before the Death Stranding that wanted to build a wall along the whole border. Stop anyone like me from coming in. Once that talk started up, I reckon that was that. How could I expect a goddamn thing from a country that didn't want me?
Oof.
How could I hope to get by in a land where the weak and needy got fucked over for profit and peace of mind? So yeah, I figured holding up in a shelter was the way to go. Didn't know how bad things would get. No one did. But I tell you, if it hadn't been for that single decision, I wouldn't be here talking to you right now. Just goes to show you that the only person anybody can rely on is his own damn self. UCA, give me a break. You're just pushing the same old bullshit, repackaged for a brave new world. Wow! We got a timeline.
Yep.
We got a timeline.
Y'all are repeating the same shit as before.
Elder's pretty, whatever the color pill you want to insert. He's in there. He's in there with his beliefs.
Took both pills, if you ask me.
Hey, man. Wall black guy, woman. I'll settle for anybody who wasn't on Jeffrey Epstein's plane. I don't know about you.
That's going to be hard.
How about that?
You're going really far down the totem pole here.
How about we start with someone that hasn't been on that fucking plane?
The list is... How about this? Nah, he's meant... How about this one? Oh, God damn.
Can we start there? Can we start there? Okay. Here we go.
Journal number 4? Body of... Oh, okay.
Other.
There you go. In a sexual world... Asexual. Records suggest that the widespread aversion towards physical contact and intimacy was a phenomenon that had been observed even before the Death Stranding. One contemporary report, for example, details the increasing popularity of the sexless lifestyle amongst young people.
In Japan?
That is a problem in Japan. Stay home. A growing percentage of the younger cohort were self-identifying as asexual, claiming that to be incapable of feeling desire or attraction. Accordingly, such individuals were less likely to have children or engage in sexual activity. It should be noted, however, that many other unique sexual identities were being recognized during this period, such as demisexual, who are incapable of sexual attraction without an emotional connection, and panromantics, who profess an attraction unrestricted by sex or gender, albeit one not necessarily sexual in nature. One theory posits that the Stranding accelerated the proliferation of these sexualities.
Hideo Kojima, what are you doing right now?
In a terrifying new world in which BT's roam and annihilation is an everyday occurrence, people have grown reticent to form emotional connections with others. Although there has been no measurable decrease in human fertility, the birth rate has nevertheless dropped dramatically. Incidents of sexual harassment and assault have also seen a sharp decrease, which seems to suggest that sex could not be further from our minds, for better or worse. I must preempt myself by admitting that I do not have any empirical data with which to support the following claim. That said, it is my contention that, based on the aforementioned observations and others, the vast majority of the population could be categorized as asexual.
Okay, so this game is linking, potentially, if I'm reading correctly, people's preferences and the discovery of different preferences to something related to the Death Stranding, and the setting is what has affected everyone's sexuality to some degree.
No decrease in human fertility, and the birth rate has dropped. So
back in my day, before the Death Stranding,
we spread life.
We didn't have all these different kinds, but insert fucking stupid bullshit.
I don't know about this one, counselor.
Hold on a second. Let me reread this for a second, just to understand. Because is he implying that literally the cause that the Death Stranding made people not want to be intimate anymore?
But he said that it was like that before the Death Stranding.
That existed before, but this has made it a more common thing. And is that the reason why Sam is like, "Oh, don't touch me, get away from me"?
Yeah, because the Stranding accelerated the process, right?
Why would you link that?
Sexless lifestyle.
What? Records suggest. I'm sorry. Let's try to understand this here. Records suggest that the widespread aversion towards physical contact and intimacy was a phenomenon that existed. Yes. Okay. Asexuality existed before Death Stranding. This is confirmed. I can tell you firsthand. I have asexual friends. Accordingly, such individuals were less likely to have children. Yes. Okay. We're telling us about what it is, and they're describing what it is. That's fine. One theory posits that the Stranding accelerated the proliferation of these sexualities. Why? In a terrifying new world in which BTs roam and annihilation is an everyday occurrence, people have grown reticent to form emotional connections with others. Okay, so just fear of mortality is saying, I'm too scared to make a connection with other people, thus people are becoming asexual as a result? That's so weird. Because, like, you're kind of... You don't suddenly be like, nah, though. You don't... That's not how asexuality works, necessarily. And, I mean, in the context of, like, people that are just like, I'm not asexual, I just don't care about that, / don't have time for it, / I think they call them herbivores. Right?
Herbivores, okay.
In Japan, they have herbivore men and carnivore men. Is the term they use.
Some terrace house lingo.
House lingo. Okay, that's a weird one. So it's just like people are afraid to make connections, therefore they're becoming more asexual. I don't know about that one, Hideo. Not too sure about that. Okay. Let's keep on trucking. You think... Fragile's umbrella and suit. You think the thing Fragile carries is an umbrella? I can see why you jumped to that conclusion. What with the shape and all, but you're wrong. If it's any consolation, I thought it was an umbrella too at first. It actually is some kind of navigational device that Fragile came up with herself. I won't pretend to understand the theory behind it. I'm told it factors chiral density across beaches and plots coordinates for her jumps. Fragile's got some kind of dunes that lets her move from beach to beach. The way she tells it kind of clears her mind and lets her powers do the rest. Maybe it's something with the spikes on her suit? When Fragile senses chiralium concentrations, they pop out. I'm not sure if she'd be able to tell otherwise. It's like an unconscious reaction. The spikes only retract when the chiral density decreases.
Okay.
But who knows? Names and theories are just ways of coping with things that we don't really understand. Same with visual indications of the intangible, maybe. All I can say is that Fragile's umbrella and the spikes seem to help her hone her powers. Names and theories are just ways of coping with things we don't really understand is a pretty heavy sentence.
Wow. Okay. Damn. Because you need to define these names and theories afterwards. And if you don't know what the deal is, then you just stop there.
And this is some random guy working for Fragile Express, by the way.
Who is this guy?
I don't know, but
he's just a staffer.
So he's the kid working at the front, just working the cash. Like, hey, so the thing you need to understand about the chiralium concentrations is it's the very concept of naming a thing is to take power over that thing because the uncertainty of the unknown is a deeply mortal fear that we all carry, and we
cut them some slack. You just graduated. They're trying to make it.
The only reason why we categorize things is because we're trying to claim power over the unknown. The deep fear of being alone and dying in the dark is one that humankind will never quite overcome. But the human condition,
Yeah, you got any orders for me? I don't have time for this shit.
Damn.
Wow.
Good job, Staffer. I'm impressed.
Must be fun around the water cooler.
I'd fucking talk to him. I'd have a few things to say.
Well, we've gone through it.
We did it. I'm pretty happy with that. Well done. Pretty satisfying. Let's just get out of this elevator in case there's any cutscenes.
Saved already?
I'll save when I'm standing outside.
Word.
Okay, so
made it.
World building accelerated. Oh, look, we do get a scene.
Oh, nice ending.
A post-mad scene, actually. Post-battle. See what's up?
Ah, the dancing scene.
Said Lisa, don't be shy.
We've seen this too,
Like we used to.
right? And then he falls.
Keep up.
Okay, yeah.
Yep. Is he seeing things, you think? Or he's just really like a goofball?
Let me just watch it through to make sure before I skip it that it's actually the exact same thing.
Did I wake you up? Today's Mommy's birthday.
Okay, so yeah, if they do repeat, then I guess that
Yeah.
takes some of the mystery away there. Okay, alright, that's fine. Maybe we need to unlock more chapters to see more?
Mayhaps.
I'll keep an eye on it regardless, but yeah. Okay, so we got lights to investigate, we got field goals to go. I'll do off camera. I can do the investigations, I can build the field goals, I can
The contaminated stuff, right?
dump the contaminants, unless they're in an order for Sam. If it's not an order for Sam, I won't. If it's an order for Sam, I'll wait for a camera to do those.
Glowing object near the isolation ward in Capital Knot City.
I'll check out the glowing objects.
Incinerator and the supercell.
I'll do all of those. And I'll have a big think about asexuality in Death Stranding. Oh, before I forget, I remember what I wanted to say, Reggie. Real quick. So, remember we were talking about road rage just now, right?
Yes, I remember that.
So I wanted to bring something up that I heard about, which is that something interesting about apparently why that might be the case is because when where did I catch this? Actually, I think I was listening to Rogan on it, and they mentioned that like when you're driving, you don't realize it because it's something you do so common, but you're at a highly accelerated rate of alertness. So you're on super high alert, but it becomes a passive thing because it lasts so long. You don't realize that you're on that high of an alert. So that as soon as something goes wrong, your reaction is at a 9 because you're already at a 9. You're just passively at a 9 in a weird way, you know? So you don't have the same response you would if you were just sitting on a couch or doing any other passive activity because you don't even realize how much you're stimulated in that moment.
Yeah.
Therefore, like that is perhaps why people just lose their shit when something happens on the road because they're just reacting to the heightened sense of alertness they're already at, and everything in your fucking reptilian lizard brain that's fight or flight is just kicking in to do what it does, you know. The dog chasing the stick, or the dog chasing the thing that's like, what am I going to do? Am I going to eat this? I don't know what I'm doing, whatever. Or like the cop chasing the robber, and then it's like, what happens when all the cops chase the robber for long, and it's a big buildup? Beat his ass.
Yeah, like, we got him.
What are you? You know, the lizard brain kicks in, and it might just be one of those things.
Yeah, and I hate it. I told you earlier, like I think I would get out of my car. I hate myself for saying that. Like, I should not be getting out of my car. I admit it 100%.
But you think you
I should carrying. But I would be like, what is wrong with you endangering other people? I would not want to get in a fight. I would never like try to hurt somebody on the road. But I would definitely have questions for you if you're turning left, not putting your flasher on, going across and endangering people.
You
Right? If
realize
you cut other people, and the person doing that probably doesn't. They're probably not sane in the first place. So I'm putting myself in danger for getting out there and seeing that person that's like driving like an idiot, almost killing people.
also you realize that in certain places that are not necessarily Canada. When you get out
I'm in Canada.
When you get out of your car
Yeah,
and someone feels frightened for their safety,
In a place when there are three
They
times
react.
more guns than people, yeah, I'll stay in my car. That's
they
fair.
react.
I will go.
When people feel threatened.
But in Canada, it's like, hey, did you get your fucking license in a cereal box? What is wrong with you? Like, we have rules. Be careful. Have a nice day. But fuck you.
Is that how it would go?
No, that's not how it would go. That's totally not how it would go. But
You just have some questions, and you have to get out of your car to ask them in person.
be considerate. I would have some questions.
Lizard brain.
It's in there. I can't deny it. It's in there somewhere.